What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're going to be doing the Extreme Rules results. Started off with the kickoff show with Andrade Cien Almas versus Sin Cara. This was actually a pretty decent match. There was a lot of flying around. Zelina Vegas distracted the referee, which allowed Almas to get the advantage on Sin Cara. ACA hit the Hammerlock DDT for the win. We then have Sanity versus the New Day in a tables match. This is pretty much a meh match. I actually had high hopes for it, but it really didn't deliver much. The only really impressive thing that happened was Killian Dane doing a suicide dive. That was pretty cool. Eric Young slams Kofi Kingston into the table for the win. Like I said, this was kind of an match. I was actually thinking something was really going to come out of this one, but it didn't. We then come to the main card with the Deleter of Worlds versus the B Team for the Raw Tag Team titles. I'm not a big fan of the B Team, but I will give them this. I actually like their entrance music. It's actually pretty cool. Bray Wyatt was actually looking pretty good in the ring after having a car crash 2 weeks ago. This was a decent match. The Deleter of Worlds was trying to get the kiss of deletion on Bo Dallas. Curtis Axel distracted him. As Wyatt went after Axel, Bo Dallas knocked Matt Hardy into Bray Wyatt and got the draping neck breaker for the win. So the B Team are now the new Raw Tag Team Champions. I'm almost waiting to see if the Authors of Pain are the next ones in line. Backstage, we have Kurt Angle saying that he has an ultimatum for Brock Lesnar, being that he turned down the matches that Angle set up, has been dodging showing up on Raw. He has three alternatives: either to show up on Raw on Monday, agree to the terms of a title shot, or he will be stripped of the title. I'm honestly kind of hoping for the third one. We then have Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. This is another match. The action was decent, but the whole Daniel Bryan, Big Cass, I'm bigger than you are rehash just echoes through this whole match. Finn Balor was able to win with an inside cradle for the pin. Like I said, it was I really wasn't crazy about it. We then have a quick backstage segment where the Bludgeon Brothers are beating up Team Hell No, which leaves Team Hell No for being questionable for the SmackDown Tag Team title match. We'll get more onto that later. We then have Carmella versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title. James Ellsworth will be put in a shark cage. Throughout most of this match, James Ellsworth is throwing down items to Carmella to try to use as weapons. He keeps getting caught. He later was able to pick the lock on the shark cage. As he was trying to get out, he got his foot caught, and now he's hanging upside down. Asuka then starts beating up on Ellsworth. After a whole bit of stupidity, really, Carmella pushes Asuka into the shark cage, knocking her down, and Carmella got the pin. After the match, Asuka beats up James Ellsworth, puts him in the Asuka lock. I don't know, this whole match had stupid written all over it from the get-go, especially when they added the shark cage element to it. It was a train wreck right from the start. We then have Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States title. Before the match, Shinsuke Nakamura hit a low blow on Jeff Hardy behind the ref's back. When the bell rang, Shinsuke Nakamura rang Jeff Hardy's bell with Kinshasa and got the pin and is now the new United States champion. After the match, Randy Orton comes out. Shinsuke Nakamura bolts. Orton gets in the ring and stomps Jeff Hardy in the nuts, then walks off. We then have Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens in a steel cage match. As soon as the bell rings, Kevin Owens tries to bitch out and get out of the cage. Braun Strowman calls Kevin Owens a chicken and he told him to fight, so we finally get one. There's a good bit of back and forth through all this. Kevin Owens tries to escape. Braun Strowman stops him. Strowman chucks Kevin Owens into the steel cage a couple of times. Later on, Kevin Owens handcuffs Braun Strowman. I don't know how handcuffs got thrown into this. As Kevin Owens tries to escape the ring, he gives Braun Strowman the suck it crotch chop, starts climbing the cage. Braun Strowman breaks out of the cuffs, chases after him to the top of the cage, and then Braun Strowman throws Kevin Owens off the top of the cage into a table. So Kevin Owens inadvertently won this match, getting thoroughly fucked up in the process. We then have Team Hell No versus the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Daniel Bryan comes out by himself, looks like he's flying solo. Kind of makes you think if Nicholas might be in the crowd, he might be able to help out. But nope, Daniel Bryan gets beat down through most of this match. Then Kane's music hits, he comes limping out. He's got his foot in a cast or like some splint or something. He tries to put up a fight, but is stopped by the Bludgeon Brothers, and Daniel Bryan gets pinned by Harper. It's later announced that Kane suffered a broken ankle in the process, so I guess this might be the end of Team Hell No. We then come to the Extreme Rules bathroom break. What? Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. Roman Reigns comes out to a sea of boos, as usual, and as usual, the microphones in the arena get dropped, and it becomes really silent. Match started off pretty good, then Roman Reigns started dominating through most of this match. Bobby Lashley gets a couple of shots in. The action continues both in and out of the ring. Roman Reigns went for a Superman punch, but Bobby Lashley got a spear in for the pin. I was actually surprised. I thought Roman Reigns was going to win this one because he's been winning everything else all year. Maybe this means we're going to have another direction, at least for a couple more months. We then have Nia Jax with Natalya at her side versus Alexa Bliss with Mickie James at her side. Ronda Rousey is in the front row for the Raw Women's Championship match. Right off at the top, the match goes outside. Mickie James tries to throw weapons to Alexa Bliss. She tries to hit Nia Jax. Nia Jax catches it and throws it into the ring. This goes on for a couple of moments. After a little bit of back and forth, Mickie James tries to interfere. Natalya stops her, and then Alexa Bliss and Mickie James beat down on Natalya. Ronda Rousey jumps over the barricade, starts beating them up, beats down Mickie James. She tries to go for Alexa Bliss, but Mickie James hits her with a kendo stick. Alexa Bliss gets back into the ring. In case you forgot, we were actually having a match. Nia Jax tried to Samoa drop Alexa Bliss, but Mickie James hits her with a chair. Then Alexa Bliss DDTs Nia Jax into a chair and gets the pin. I really don't know what to say about this match. It was all over the place, and I don't know. That's about as much as I could really say for the match. We then have AJ Styles versus Rusev for the WWE Championship. Aiden English is at ringside. There was a lot of action in this match. I really liked it. I really don't understand why this wasn't main event. AJ Styles got the calf crusher on Rusev. Aiden English was pushing the ropes closer so Rusev could get the rope break. Later on, Aiden English removes the turnbuckle pad, which Rusev inadvertently runs into, and AJ Styles wins it with a phenomenal forearm and a pin. Like I said, this was a good match. Out of the whole night, I would probably say this is probably the better match for the night. Then we come to our main event, Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title in a 30-minute Iron Man match. After Seth Rollins gets 2 quick falls, Drew McIntyre comes in, beats up Seth Rollins, and costs Dolph Ziggler a fall by disqualification. Drew McIntyre continues to beat up Seth Rollins and gets himself ejected from the ring. Dolph Ziggler gets a fall due to the attack and then quickly ties it up in short order. As we fast forward down to the 7-minute mark, Dolph Ziggler is ahead 4-3. At 3 minutes and 8 seconds left in the match, Seth Rollins ties it 4-4. And then in closing moments of this match, Dolph Ziggler got the curb stomp on Dolph Ziggler, but wasn't able to get the pin in time. Dolph Ziggler, thinking he won this, starts heading up the ramp. Kurt Angle comes out and says that we're going to have sudden death. The next pin wins it, restarts the match. Drew McIntyre comes out of nowhere to distract Seth Rollins. Dolph Ziggler runs in, gives him a zigzag, and pins him and wins the match. Drew McIntyre hoists Dolph Ziggler up on his shoulders. They go up the ramp, leaving Seth Rollins in the ring, wondering what the hell just happened. And with this, we close the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Honestly, this was not one of the best pay-per-views WWE has put on. For being an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, there weren't that many Extreme Rules matches throughout this pay-per-view. Most of them were just regular matches. Why are we calling this Extreme Rules if all the matches are not Extreme Rules or have some special stipulation in them or something like that? Like I said, most of the matches were The top matches, in my opinion, were the Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins match, and the AJ Styles Rusev match. Everything else was either average to below average. Sadly, that dragged the score down for the entire pay-per-view. I'm definitely looking forward to see what happens on Monday with Brock Lesnar and to see what direction we go with this, and Tuesday on SmackDown to see the fallout from the pay-per-view. But that'll do it for the Extreme Rules results. Leave a comment down below what you thought of the pay-per-view or what you thought of this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.